Welcome to the world of science fiction stories, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe my channel. Enjoy the listening. A ship made from scrap, now the galaxy's biggest threat. Officers watched the grainy footage, which showed a vessel unlike any in their database, a dark hull of mixed materials, weapons that cut through shields like they weren't there, and the ability to vanish from sensors completely. "Find me everything on this Phoenix," he ordered, "and get me Commander Vex." This is now his priority mission. Back at their asteroid base, Jack and his crew celebrated their first successful mission. What had begun as a test flight had become something more, a declaration that humanity would no longer accept its chains. To the Phoenix, Jack toasted, raising a cup with his crew, and to freedom. None of them yet realized just how much their actions that day would change the course of galactic history. Word spread through human settlements like wildfire. A mysterious ship had appeared from nowhere, defeated 3 Confederation patrol vessels without destroying them, and vanished again. Some called it a ghost story, others named it hope. In his quarters aboard the Phoenix, Jack studied the latest intelligence Davis had gathered. For months had passed since their first encounter with Confederation forces, and in that time they had conducted 7 more operations, freeing a human labor camp on Europa, intercepting a prisoner transport, and disrupting Confederation supply lines. A knock at his door interrupted his thoughts. "Come in," he called. Anna entered, her expression serious. "We got another distress signal. Human mining outpost in the Ceres belt. Confederation forces are relocating them for alleged resource theft." Jack nodded grimly. Standard excuse. They find a rich vein, suddenly humans are stealing resources and need to be moved. He grabbed his jacket. "Gather the crew. We leave in 20 minutes. On the bridge, Sin's holographic form greeted them. "Commander, before departure, I must share important findings from my analysis of Confederation communications." "Go ahead," Jack said, settling into his chair. The AI displayed a series of decoded messages on the main screen. "I have detected an unusual pattern in high-level Confederation communications regarding humanity. There are repeated references to something called the prophecy in relation to human containment policies." The crew exchanged puzzled looks. "What prophecy?" Mac asked, voicing what they all wondered. "Details are fragmentary," Sin replied. "However, I have compiled enough references to suggest that Confederation leadership believes an ancient prediction identifies humans as crucial to facing some future threat." "That makes no sense," Rex objected. "If we're so important, why keep us caged like animals?" Sin's form flickered slightly. "The most probable explanation based on available data, fear. The Confederation fears human potential. This explains the systematic suppression of human technological advancement while simultaneously preserving the species." Jack frowned. "They're keeping us like a tool in a box, making sure we don't grow too powerful but keeping us around in case they need us." "Precisely," Sin confirmed. "And there is more. Commander Vex, who has been assigned to neutralize the Phoenix, has been given unprecedented resources for this task. The Phoenix is now officially designated as Galaxy's Most Wanted, with a bounty sufficient to purchase a small moon." Davis gave a low whistle. "We've touched a nerve." "Good," Jack said firmly. "Let's touch another one. Anna, set course for the Ceres mining outpost. Mac, weapons ready. Rex, I want the stealth systems at maximum efficiency." As they departed their hidden base, none of them noticed the tiny probe that had attached itself to an asteroid nearby, recording their exit trajectory. The mission to Ceres went smoothly, perhaps too smoothly. The Confederation forces surrendered quickly when the Phoenix appeared, barely putting up a fight. "Something's not right," Jack muttered as they escorted the freed miners to safety. That was too easy. His suspicions proved correct as they turned to head home. 3 Confederation battle cruisers dropped out of faster-than-light travel directly in their path. Ambush. Davis called out as the tactical display lit up with enemy signals. A face appeared on their communication screen, an alien with pale blue skin and eyes like black glass. Phoenix, this is Commander Vex of the Confederation Security Force. You are surrounded. Power down your systems and prepare to be boarded. Jack signaled Mac to cut the transmission. Options? He asked his crew. We can't outgun 3 battle cruisers, Mac stated flatly. But we might outmaneuver them, Anna suggested. Their formation has a weak spot near the gravitational distortion from that nearby dwarf star. It's risky, Davis warned. Those gravity wells are unpredictable. Jack turned to Sin. Analysis? The AI's form expanded, displaying complex calculations. With precise timing, we can use the star's gravitational field to slingshot past the blockade. However, this will require pushing the power core to 85% capacity, higher than we have previously attempted. Jack made his decision. Do it. Rex, give the engines everything they can take. Anna, plot the slingshot course. What followed was a desperate race toward the dwarf star with 3 battle cruisers in pursuit, firing constantly. The Phoenix shuddered under repeated hits, its shields holding but weakening. Shields at 40% and dropping, Rex called out. Almost there, Anna replied through gritted teeth, her hands dancing across the controls as she guided the ship toward the precise point where the star's gravity would help rather than trap them. Confederation ships are spreading out to cut off escape routes, Davis reported. Jack held tight to his chair. Stay on course. Sin, divert all non-essential power to shields and engines. As they approached the gravitational threshold, the Phoenix began to shudder violently. Warning lights flashed across every console. Power core at 82% and climbing, Rex shouted over the noise. Hull integrity holding, but we're pushing the limits. Now, Anna. Jack commanded as they reached the critical point. Anna executed the maneuver perfectly. The Phoenix curved around the star's gravitational well, picking up tremendous speed. Behind them, one of the pursuing battle cruisers misjudged the approach and was caught in a stronger gravity field, its engine struggling to break free. It worked. Anna exclaimed as they shot past the blockade. A massive impact rocked the ship. Commander Vex's flagship had anticipated their move and positioned itself to fire a parting shot as they passed. Engine 2 is down, Rex reported urgently. Power fluctuations throughout the ship. Can we make it home? Jack asked. Rex shook his head. Not directly. We need repairs. Jack made a quick decision. Set course for the Omega Nebula. We have allies there. The Phoenix limped away, its stealth systems engaged but flickering, just barely staying ahead of pursuit. They reached the nebula's edge and vanished into its concealing gases and radiation, finally losing their pursuers. The nebula harbored a secret, Fumnu, a coalition of alien species who disagreed with Confederation policies. These species, considered primitive or unimportant by Confederation standards, had been watching the Phoenix's activities with growing interest. When the damaged ship arrived at their hidden outpost, they welcomed Jack and his crew not as fugitives but as heroes. Your resistance gives hope to many, said Trill, the leader of the coalition, a small amphibious being whose species had been relegated to water worlds the Confederation deemed worthless. We have heard of your exploits. The Phoenix has become a symbol. As the coalition's engineers helped repair their ship, Jack shared what Sin had discovered about the prophecy. Trill's large eyes widened. This confirms our suspicions. Our oldest records speak of a great darkness that once swept the galaxy, a threat that returns in cycles. If the Confederation fears humans may be key to fighting this threat, then they want to control us, keep us weak but available, Jack finished. Like a weapon they can use when needed, then lock away again, Trill nodded solemnly. But the Phoenix has changed the equation. You have shown that humans can master technologies the Confederation cannot control. As Jack looked around at the Coalition's hidden base, where species from across the galaxy worked together, free from Confederation hierarchy, a new vision formed in his mind. The Phoenix wasn't just a ship anymore, it was the beginning of a revolution. Back in Confederation space, Commander Vex stood before the High Council, his failure evident to all. The Phoenix escaped but suffered significant damage, he reported. More importantly, we have tracked their general heading. They are seeking allies among the outer species. The eldest council member leaned forward. This cannot be allowed. If humans gain the support of even the lesser species, they could upset the balance. And if the prophecy is correct, if the diver truly return, I will find them, Vex promised. This ship of scrap metal and its human crew will not threaten our order. But even as he spoke, signals were spreading throughout the galaxy, stories of the Phoenix, the ship that defied the mighty Confederation. For the first time in centuries, the established powers of the galaxy felt something they had almost forgotten, fear. The warning came without fanfare, a simple signal from a distant monitoring station at the edge of known space. Something massive was moving toward Confederation territory, consuming everything in its path. In the Grand Council chamber, representatives from all 12 major Confederation species gathered in emergency session, their usual disputes forgotten in the face of extinction. The Devores have returned, announced High Elder Quarks, his voice echoing through the chamber. The ancient enemy, just as the prophecy foretold. Fear rippled through the assembly. The Devores were more legend than history, a hive-mind species that had nearly destroyed galactic civilization 100,000 years ago before mysteriously retreating into the void between galaxies. Our fleets are mobilizing, the military commander reported, but early engagements have been concerning. Diver ships adapt quickly to our weapons. Conventional tactics are ineffective. Amid the growing panic, Commander Vex stepped forward. For months he had hunted the Phoenix without success. Now he saw opportunity in disaster. The humans, he suggested. The prophecy speaks of them. Perhaps we should. Absolutely not, shouted another council member. Giving humans more technology now. They already have that rogue ship causing chaos. The argument might have continued, but at that moment, the chamber's main screen activated without command. Sin's holographic form appeared before the stunned council. Greetings, Confederation leaders, the AI said calmly. The Phoenix wishes to open negotiations. Aboard the Phoenix, fully repaired and enhanced with technologies from their coalition allies, Jack and his crew watched the council's reaction through Sin's remote connection. Think they'll listen? Mac asked, cleaning his weapon out of habit. They have no choice, Davis said. The divers have already destroyed 3 outer Confederation worlds. Their standard tactics are failing. Jack nodded grimly. The prophecy was about this, the diver return. The ancients who built our ship fought them before. Sin has the memories. Over the past month, Sin had unlocked more of the ship's original database, revealing the terrible truth. The ancient species that built the Phoenix's core had battled the Devores to near extinction before they were wiped out. They had scattered pieces of their technology across the galaxy, along with a prediction that someday a species with the right mental flexibility would reassemble it to fight when the diver returned. The Council is responding, Sin announced. On their screen, Commander Vex appeared, his expression a mixture of anger and desperation. Phoenix, your interference in Confederation affairs is criminal, but current circumstances are exceptional. What do you propose? Jack leaned forward. A truce. We join forces against the Devores. In return, humanity is granted full independence and member status in the Confederation afterward. Impossible. Vex spluttered. The Council would never. The diver fleet will reach your core worlds in 16 days, Jack interrupted. By then, you'll have lost half your military capacity based on current engagement reports. We've analyzed their attack patterns. We can help. A tense silence followed. Finally, Vex spoke, "I will convey your offer to the council. But know this, human, if this is some trick to gain advantage." "It's not about advantage anymore," Jack said quietly. "It's about survival. For all of us." 3 days later, the Phoenix led a coalition of ships toward the approaching diver fleet. Behind them flew Confederation forces, a reluctant alliance born of desperation. On the Phoenix's bridge, Jack studied the tactical display showing the massive diver ships, organic-looking vessels that seemed to pulse with dark energy. "They're beautiful, in a terrifying way," Anna observed from the pilot station. "And deadly," added Davis. "Those lead ships have already adapted to standard Confederation weapons. Energy-based attacks are mostly ineffective now." Jack turned to Sin. "What's our advantage?" The AI's holographic form expanded to show a detailed analysis. "The Devores operate as a hive mind. They adapt quickly but think collectively. They expect logical, predictable responses based on previous encounters. And we're anything but predictable," Rex said with a grim smile. "Exactly," Jack agreed. "Our ship is a patchwork of technologies they've never encountered together. Our human minds think differently than the Confederation species. We're the wild card. So what's the plan?" Mac asked, his fingers hovering over the weapon's controls. Jack outlined their strategy. The Phoenix would penetrate to the heart of the diver fleet, targeting what Sin identified as their command node. Meanwhile, the Coalition and Confederation forces would provide extraction and cover. "It's a suicide mission," Commander Vex objected over the comm link. "Maybe," Jack acknowledged. "But it's the only way. Your ships can't get close enough anymore, they're too predictable. The diver adapt to each attack. But the Phoenix? They won't know what to make of us." As they approached the massive enemy fleet, Jack addressed his crew one last time. "Whatever happens today, remember what we built, a ship from discarded pieces that became something new, something powerful. Just like humanity will be after today, no longer forgotten or restricted, but recognized for what we can become." The battle began with a coordinated attack from the combined fleet, the Phoenix using its advanced stealth technology to slip through the chaos toward the heart of the enemy formation. "Stealth failing," Rex reported as they penetrated deeper. "They're starting to detect us." "That's expected," Jack replied calmly. "Sin, initiate Protocol Omega." The AI acknowledged the command, and the Phoenix began to change. The power core surged to 100% capacity for the first time, energy flowing through every system in patterns that shifted constantly, never establishing a recognizable signature. "They can't adapt to what they can't predict," Jack explained as enemy fire began to track them. "Keep changing our approach. Random patterns, just like we practiced." Anna flew with inspired brilliance, never maintaining a course long enough for the Devores to lock on. Mac fired the weapons in seemingly illogical combinations that nonetheless found their targets with devastating effect. The Phoenix shuddered under enemy fire, shields weakening but holding. Around them, the battle raged, with Confederation ships falling to the diver adaptive defenses while the Coalition vessels fared slightly better with their unconventional technologies. "We're almost at the command node," Davis reported, his voice tight. "But our shields are at 15%. One direct hit and we're finished." "Then we don't get hit," Jack said simply. "Anna, give us everything. Rex, divert all remaining power to engines and weapons." The Phoenix surged forward in a final burst of speed, taking damage but still advancing. They reached the massive central ship, a pulsing behemoth that coordinated the entire diver fleet. "Target locked," Mac announced. "Firing main cannon." The weapon, a hybrid of ancient technology and human innovation, fired a beam of energy unlike anything the galaxy had seen before. It struck the command node, penetrating shields that had repelled every Confederation weapon. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the diver command ship began to pulse erratically. Throughout the enemy fleet, ships suddenly lost coordination, their movements becoming confused and disorganized. "It's working!" Davis exclaimed. "Their hive mind is disrupted." Jack nodded, allowing himself a brief smile. "Send the signal to all Allied ships. Attack now, while they're vulnerable." The Phoenix, badly damaged but still functioning, turned to join the counterattack. The combined fleet fell upon the disorganized Devores with renewed vigor, targeting the weak points Sin had identified. What followed was the most decisive battle in the galaxy's recent history. Without their coordinated hive mind, the diver ships fell one by one. The Phoenix, despite its damage, continued to fight until the last enemy vessel was destroyed or retreating. When it was over, Jack stood before the Confederation Council, his crew beside him. The Phoenix, now legendary throughout the galaxy, orbited the Confederation capital world, no longer hiding but honored. "You have fulfilled the prophecy," High Elder Corax acknowledged. Humanity proved to be exactly what the ancients foresaw, a species whose unpredictability and adaptability could counter the diver hive mind. "And our agreement?" Jack prompted. Commander Vex stepped forward, his previous animosity replaced by grudging respect. "The Council has voted. Humanity is granted full independence and Confederation membership, with all rights and privileges." Jack nodded.